I attended various sessions at the 4Cs 2021 virtual conference. The one that really stood out for me was the one that focused on the building blocks of writing, on pre-writing and planning. This presentation was presented by a panel of 4 professors from 3 different universities: the University of Delaware, Wilmington University, and the University of Tennessee. The description of their presentation stated, "In the Supporting Strategic Writer's Approach, students learn strategies for critical reading of sources, planning, and revision, integrated with metacognitive strategies for goal setting, task management, progress monitoring, and reflection." Research on supporting strategic writers beginning in 2010 has included 3 cycles of collaborative design research, 3 large-scale experimental studies, and a smaller study of an accelerated version. The research has consistently found large effects on quality of writing and on motivation. The main focus of this presentation was on easy-to-memorize acronyms and visual organizers. The first acronym they shared was TAP4. They designed and used this acronym for students to understand the task or assignment at hand. They called it the rhetorical task analysis to understand what the assignment is. Here, T stands for topic, where the students make a choice based on the provided guidelines within the assignment prompt. A stands for audience. Students have to decide, besides my obvious audience, my instructor and my peers, who am I writing this piece for? Whom am I trying to persuade? Who might benefit from this information? P stands for purpose. Is the student trying to persuade someone, or are they trying to propose a solution to a problem? F stands for form. Here, students decide what type of writing I am being asked to do. Is it a proposal argument, a quantitative analysis essay, a rhetorical analysis, or something else? O stands for organizational elements. Are there any specific organizational elements being required by the assignment? Last but not least, R stands for requirements. What are the length requirements? What font size is acceptable? What number of sources are needed to be used in the assignment, etc. The first visual organizer they shared was for brainstorming. As you might have already noticed, their work focused on argumentative writing, but these organizers can easily be tweaked for non-argumentative and other assignments. So the first organizer was quite simple. Once the students had chosen their topic, it had them jot down ideas for and against the issue. This exercise helps students take counterarguments into consideration. This task can be completed as an in-class group activity where you can pair up students working on a common issue, or for an online class, this can be assigned as a discussion assignment. The next organizer moves to the next step where students have conducted some research or are in the process of doing so. Here again, they will list the for and against points, but this time they will support their points with evidence coming from research. Also, they will list why they refute the points made by their oppositions. This organizer does not address concession, but that is something we can add if we decide to use this organizer. This next organizer is a rubric they used for peer evaluations as well as grading. They mentioned that this was their most effective tool, which helps students evaluate each other's work and their own pace. This graphic also helps students understand the grading process. This rubric asks the students to review their peers' work using a score of 0 to 2. where 0 means the item is entirely missing, 1 means improvement is required, and 2 means the requirement is met. The elements listed in the black font are the original elements of the panel, whereas I added the elements listed in the blue font. In this way, you can adapt the rubric to your needs. The panel also recommended sharing with our students good and weak examples of the work we assign. We can model the work by using the rubric to evaluate the examples. This can be an in-class activity we complete with our students or a group activity for the students. Next, the presenter shared another unique idea. This one was to use this strategies for academic success organizer for students to keep a journal and monitor their growth. The 4 categories included in this organizer are goal setting, task management, checking progress, and reflection. We can assign this journal assignment as a part of the graded assignment or as extra credit. This assignment will also help our students develop their final reflection essay for the portfolio. Next, the group moved to critical reading strategies. Their main focus was on summary analysis, and for that they used the acronym TAPO, where T stands for topic, A for the author, and the second A for the audience, P for purpose, and O for organization. For this task, they used an organizer that had students answer various questions regarding the reading, from the reasons and evidence used by the author to addressing and refuting counter-arguments. This organizer requires the students to carefully analyze their sources. We can use this organizer to accompany the annotated bibliography assignment for students to gather information for each source they use, or we can share this organizer as a guiding element. Lastly, the group was supposed to talk about evaluating the credibility of sources using the SAP acronym, but their 4th panelist was not present, so they did not go into details regarding this acronym. I felt that this panel shared quite a few elements that we could use in our courses. I hope you benefit from today's presentation. Thank you for listening.